actually, once you start paying attention to your mental health, it's not like you're going to go through a little season and then you're going to flick a switch and never have
It's
to
always in the
go
past,
back
yeah.
there again.
Right.
So first of all, we are actually adding your song on Monday, and we're super pumped about it.
Come on, let's go.
Yeah, we've been really excited about it. We were bummed that we didn't get to catch up with you at Momentum
Yeah.
because I stripped a fitted sheet off of one of the beds in my bedroom, and I tried to take it to as many artists as I could to see how they were at folding fitted sheets.
That was like our big question.
Is that
really
something
good.
have you figured out how to do that? No.
I'm a disaster with it.
Okay.
Every single day that I wake up, I don't know what it is I'm doing at night, but like the sheet's always off on my side, but not my wife's side. I couldn't tell you exactly what that is.
Uh-huh.
I refuse to. I refuse to let this be like a gender thing. I know I could learn how to do this fitted sheet thing. It is my personal incompetency.
Okay. So she does all the folding then.
She does, but very begrudgingly. Whatever the really feminist way is of doing my folding, she does that one.
She's very empowered while she does it.
Exactly. Yeah, I think she feels the empowerment.
That's amazing.
That's fantastic.
I mean, yeah, Ben Hastings did pretty well.
He did. Yeah.
He did pretty well.
It took him a while, but he had a good finished product.
He did. Torrin Wells, on the other hand, just did the whole like
He was the worst.
roll it up real fast.
Nice. Yeah, good man.
Yeah.
Oh, was it just folding it, or no, or was it attaching it to the bed?
Just folding.
Just folding it.
Oh, I got you. I could have fooled you there. Yeah, I didn't need to say any of that.
So you even struggled putting it on the bed.
I struggle. I really struggle with the like an actual like tight good making of the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I worked in a suit shop, but that was my first job. So folding is actually like a weird, like it's a weird hidden talent. I'm a ninja when it comes to getting a shirt folded.
That's awesome.
That's cool. I've watched some of those YouTube videos about like you hold here and you flip it and it's all one thing, and I got tired of doing that.
Oh, I got you, man.
At one point, but yeah.
Swimming in my stream here. This is riveting content, isn't it?
This is great. This is what the people come to us for.
This is
Yeah.
This is the real stuff.
Yeah, that's thanks for having me on the show. I'll talk to you about folding for half an hour.
That's all the time we have.
Yeah.
No, tell me a little bit about Fight of My Life, because I know it has a lot to do with kind of your mental health journey.
Yeah, it actually does. I guess we're shifting gears pretty dramatically.
Yeah, very hard left turn.
Yeah, so for years I wouldn't have been able to name it, but even while being in a band that I would say is kind of associated with joy and fun and lightness, I was struggling with depression for a lot of years, and a few years ago I discovered that, and I started getting help. And I'll just say as an aside that God and therapy has been a life-changing combo for me, making sure to not pick a lane on that, but just let's go full blast. Let's do everything we can. I think that can make a huge difference. But that journey of God and therapy has really helped me to be able to put into language those experiences. And Fight of My Life really, it's a massive overshare from my diary. I guess that would be one way to look at it. I never really thought that this song was gonna certainly live. I mean, it's unimaginable to me that it's at Christian radio right now. I didn't even think I would play it publicly. I thought it was just for me. It was a prayer between me and God, just asking him at this kind of moment in depression where, I'm not sure what your mental health journeys have looked like, but depression for me has quite often looked like numbness, like a really scary numbness, like a struggle to feel anything. And the chorus of this song is just, I need you to be my joy, and help me to feel something like that. That's what the song is about. It's just crying out, saying, I'm at rock bottom, I'm out of ideas, and I need light, I need joy, and I think you're the only person who can bring it, Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, I've been dealing with depression and anxiety for goodness, good 20 years at this point.
Sorry.
I've done therapy, I'm on medication, and so like hearing, especially the let me just feel something is I totally resonate. It's like there's a black hole in my chest when I'm in the low point. And so it reads like a psalm because your lyrics are so raw, but then you are still so dependent on God, and you're so pointed in his direction, and you don't let what you're feeling impact your theology.
Yeah, I think that's what having a faith does for you.
Hmm.
I think that you know the unhealthiest thing you can do as a Christian experience in depression is use Christianity as a way to whitewash over it and pretend like it's not happening. But some of the really rich spiritual stuff that we can do, and the stuff that's all through the Bible, by the way,
Yeah.
it is allow it to just give us language. You know, there's so many of these Psalms. Obviously, the book of Lamentations or Jeremiah, Ecclesiastes. That is the book of numb depression.
Yeah.
These can give us this language that helps us to feel like, hey, I'm not on my own. Actually, people have been doing this for thousands of years. And by the way, they also get to write books of the Bible. They're not they're not disqualified from the Christian community
Hmm.
just because they can't put a smile on it. And um I think that's really important that we have that
Yeah.
messaging out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I think Taylor and I both have been really open with our audience about our mental health struggles. And I'm the same way. My entire adult life is anxiety and depression has affected so much. And having been in a place where you're having thoughts of, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm done. And being in that place, I love this song because thinking about it as the fight of your life, because I know in my own life that's what it was. It was literally Jesus saved me. I'm alive today because of Jesus.
Mm.
And having been in that place where you do feel like there's just, I don't have anything else. I can't do this anymore. And being able to cling to the word of God. I know for me, like we were saying, the Psalms, Lamentations, I mean, Psalm 42 for me was one that was just like, why are you downcast,
Hmm.
oh my soul?
Mm.
Why are you so disturbed? And then being able to then make that turn of like, you know what, I'm here, but I have the truth too. And just
Yeah.
being able to repeat that truth, because I think for me in my own family, I have family members who don't know Jesus and we have the same sort of, genetics, mental health stuff going on. But my journey has been so different from theirs, having Jesus be a part of that piece.
Yeah, I mean, it's a massive difference maker.
Yeah.
I don't really know how people. I don't know how people do this without the God piece. You know,
No.
I said it already, but like the God and therapy,
Hmm.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm only speaking from my own experience. Maybe other people have another experience, but for me, it's both. It has to be both and. You
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
you can't remove one of those engines and still have the whole thing work.
Was there ever a feeling for you that God and therapy couldn't mix, or like there was even like this is a detraction from my faith that I'm having to do this?
I had a definite level of resistance to going to therapy, and it was kind of, I now realize looking back, it was the craziest logic. It was almost like I felt like if I went to therapy, that would mean that I had a problem. You know, I would get
Hmm.
diagnosed, and then all of a sudden I'd have a problem. But if I could avoid therapy, I wouldn't have a problem.
Schrodinger's diagnosis.
Exactly, because if I'm not diagnosed, I'm fine. It's like if I don't take the COVID test, I definitely don't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was was kind of the logic there, and I now realize like this should have been just routine maintenance. There's no shame or stigma around telling somebody you're going through something hard. We all are. That's the human experience, is carrying hard things. That's what it is to be alive. You know, to be ashamed about that is to miss out tremendously. And I think I hope that messaging is starting to get out there, and I really do think I think Christian art and media is improving at incredible rates in terms of being real about mental health and realizing that yes, definitely get the medication if you're sick, see a doctor.
Yeah.
If you need to talk to someone. Don't keep it all inside and try to pretend like the spiritual journey means that we don't use the tools that we have available to us. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the first time I started talking about my mental health on the air, I was afraid of like people are going to be like, you need to have more faith. You need,
Yeah.
and by and large, it was just this like sigh of relief of like, I see my story and your story, and I'm so glad that I'm not the only one.
Right. I mean, it's crazy in this conversation that we have three people who struggle with their mental
Yeah.
health. And I think that what's even more surprising to me is that this ratio is pretty common where like nearly everybody is struggling with their mental health. But we're all pretending like we're not by ourselves.
Yeah. And I think so much that's the enemy wants to isolate us. That's kind of the
Yes.
Yeah.
goal, is to isolate us from each other when we're supposed to be living in community. And that's part of it, is we're told to bear each other's burdens. And how can we do that if we don't know what they are?
Exactly. I mean, it's so funny to me how often conversations around mental health that seem, when you're by yourself, it feels like it's such a heavy weight. And then when you share it with somebody else, it's so surprising to me how quickly it turns into something to laugh about.
Yes.
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 I don't know how it happens. There's some magic, but
I love a good anxiety joke, I'll be honest.
exactly.
And I was thinking too, as parents, like wanting for my kids and for the next generations, and you're a dad, wanting for them to know if they struggle with something. And I was just talking, I have teenagers now, but talking with my oldest about, we want you as your parents, we want you to come tell us when something's not
Yeah.
okay. We want you to tell us when you're struggling, and don't try to hide that from us, because like, we're not going to love you less. We love you so much that we want to know, and that's how we are as parents, and that God is about us as well.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, why would God not want us to jump up on his knee and
Mm,
Hmm.
be real? It's the ultimate compliment as a parent.
yeah.
Whenever you realize that your kids actually trust you with the hard stuff, you know.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. What would you say has been the most surprising thing to you as you've just kind of spent the last couple years learning about your mental health?
I'd say the surprise to me is, it probably shouldn't be. If I was smarter, I would work this out in the front end. Um, but it's not a linear journey. Like it it's full ups and downs. Like for example, even last I stopped seeing my therapist. He told me, you know what, I think you're good to go on your own for a bit here. Had a couple of months where I didn't see him, and then realized anxiety and stuff was starting to build up again. I felt really bummed out that I had to call him again last week, or that was how I felt about it. It was like, oh, I have to call him again. And as soon as I got on the phone, he's like, "Never think like that. Healing is just not a straight line." I think that has been a surprising thing to me.
Yeah.
It's that actually, once you start paying attention to your mental health, it's not like you're going to go through a little season and then you're going to flick a switch and never have
It's
to
always in the
go back
past. Yeah.
there again.
Right.
No, I mean, it's something you're going to be managing for the rest of your life, but that's not a problem. It's
Yeah.
just needs managed, and that's okay.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, because there's just so much about it that you think, okay, well, if I broke a bone, then it's healed,
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
done,
yeah,
we get to move on. But really, I mean, you have still sensitivity there. You've still got to be careful of that. I mean, my husband broke a finger, and he still has pain in that finger, even though it's been healed. He's had surgery. There's still pain there, and there's still residual issues. So it's like we know this about the physical stuff. Now getting to make that shift and be able to think about that in the way with mental health.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not a quick fix.
Mhm.
I'll probably be struggling with my mental health right until the end of things, when we all end this thing with a wedding and a feast.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad to get to have this conversation with
Yeah.
you, because
Um,
honestly, yeah, I'm something I know both of us are really passionate about and
Yeah.
sharing about with our audience, because I think we both have experienced the place where people are like, we just don't have enough faith, or there must be some
Hmm.
hidden sin in your life, or something that's
yeah.
causing this, and how harmful
Yeah.
that was, and wanting
Yeah.
to break that.
I wish I'd been able to hear more conversations like this one
Hmm.
when I was 17.
Yeah.
Boy, yeah, me growing up in
Hmm.
Ireland, that
Ah,
Irish men in the 90s were not talking about mental health conversations.
No,
No,
really.
yeah.
no, anger and singing were the two emotions that you were allowed to have.
I love it. Chris, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
appreciate you guys.
Yeah. We'll see
Thank
you
you.
around if you're ever in Des Moines. Stop by and say
Yeah.
hi.
Come back to Iowa soon.
Let's go. All right. Thanks.
Yeah. Bye.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye bye.